You're a failure, just like your father. Aunt Lydia's words cut deep, but I refuse to let them define me. I've always been the black sheep of the family, pursuing my passion for art instead of a real career like Lydia's precious daughter, Sarah. But I won't let her belittle me anymore. I'm doing the best I can, I say, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and exhaustion. Mom needs me, and my art is important to me. Lydia scoffs, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against her glass of expensive Chardonnay. Your art won't pay the bills, Jade. When are you going to grow up and face reality? I bite my tongue, knowing that arguing with her is pointless. She's never understood my dreams, and she never will. Speaking of reality, Lydia continues, her tone dripping with condescension, I need you to take care of my dog, Max. He's been acting out, and I can't deal with him right now. I blink in surprise. You want me to take your dog? Lydia, I barely have enough room for Mom and me in our apartment. Well, it's either that or I'll have to put him down. He's become too much of a liability. My heart sinks at the thought of an innocent animal suffering because of Lydia's neglect. Fine, I'll take him, but only temporarily. Lydia smirks, her victory evident in her eyes. Excellent. I'll drop him off tomorrow. As she saunters out of the room, I slump back in my chair, the weight of my responsibilities crushing me. I glance over at Mom, who sits quietly in her wheelchair, her eyes filled with sympathy. I'm sorry, Jade, she says softly, reaching for my hand. I know it's not easy, but you're doing an amazing job. Don't let Lydia get to you. I squeeze her hand, finding comfort in her wavering support. Thanks, Mom. I won't give up, I promise. The next day, Lydia arrives with Max, a beautiful golden retriever with haunted eyes. As she hands me his leash, I can't help but notice the scars on his muzzle and the way he cowers at Lydia's feet. What happened to him? I ask, my voice filled with concern. Lydia waves her hand dismissively. He's just a difficult dog. I'm sure you'll manage. As she turns to leave, Max looks up at me, his tail wagging tentatively. In that moment, I make a silent vow to protect him, just as I've promised to care for Mom. Little do I know that my life is about to change forever, and the bonds I forge with Max will be the key to my survival in the darkest of times. The world is a blur of flashing lights and searing pain as I regain consciousness. Disoriented, I try to sit up, but a gentle hand on my shoulder stops me. Easy there, Miss Carlson. You've been in an accident, a soothing voice says. Accident? My mind races, trying to piece together what happened. I remember being in the car with Aunt Lydia, arguing about her treatment of Max. She was driving erratically, her anger palpable. Then everything went black. Is my aunt okay? I ask, my voice hoarse. The nurse hesitates. She's stable, but I'm afraid I have some difficult news. The accident caused significant damage to your optic nerves. We've done everything we can, but you've lost your sight. The world stops, blind. The word echoes in my mind, a death knell for my dreams, my independence, my life. Tears stream down my face as the reality sinks in. Hours later, Lydia bursts into my hospital room, her voice shrill with accusation. This is all your fault, Jade. If you hadn't distracted me with your incessant whining about that stupid dog, I wouldn't have crashed. I'm stunned by her audacity. Are you serious? You were the one driving like a maniac, Lydia. You did this to me. She scoffs. Please. Everyone knows you've always been jealous of me. You probably caused the accident on purpose, hoping to ruin my life like you've ruined your own. Anger surges through me, white-hot and blinding. Get out now, before I call security. Lydia laughs, a cruel, mocking sound. You're in no position to make demands, dear niece. In fact, I have a proposition for you. Come stay with me during your recovery. I'll take care of you, just like I've always had to clean up your messes. I want to refuse, to tell her to go to hell, but the reality of my situation crashes down on me. I'm blind, helpless, and alone. As much as I loathe the idea, I need Lydia's help. Fine, I grind out through clenched teeth. But only until I can manage on my own. I can practically hear the smirk in Lydia's voice. Of course, Jade, whatever you say. The next few weeks are a living nightmare. Lydia's house, once a place of luxury and envy, becomes my prison. She takes every opportunity to undermine my attempts at independence, sabotaging my efforts to learn Braille and navigate with a cane. Oh, Jade, let me do that for you, she coos, snatching the Braille book from my hands. You're just going to hurt yourself. I seethe with resentment, but I bite my tongue. I need her. for now. The only bright spot in my dark world is Max. He's become my constant companion, guiding me through the house and offering comfort when Lydia's cruelty becomes too much to bear. I find solace in his soft fur and gentle presence, a reminder that I'm not alone. One evening, as I sit with Max in the garden, I overhear Lydia on the phone. "Don't worry, I have it all under control. Once Jade is declared unfit, I'll have power of attorney over Evelyn. We'll bleed them dry and no one will be the wiser." My blood runs cold. Lydia's true intentions are laid bare, a twisted plot to exploit my mother and me for her own gain. In that moment, I make a decision. I will not be a victim any longer. I will find a way to stop Lydia, to make her pay for her cruelty and deception. With newfound determination, I reach for my phone, my fingers tracing the familiar shape of the disability rights group's number. It's time to fight back, to reclaim my life and my future. Lydia may have taken my sight, but she will not break my spirit. Not anymore. Living with Lydia is a constant battle, a war of wills fought in the trenches of daily life. Every moment is a struggle to maintain my dignity, my sense of self, in the face of her relentless attempts to break me. "Jade, darling, let me help you with that." Lydia says, her voice dripping with false concern as she snatches the Braille book from my hands. "You're just going to frustrate yourself." I grit my teeth, my fingers curling into fists. "I need to learn, Lydia. I can't depend on you forever." She laughs, a sharp, brittle sound. "Of course you can, dear. That's what family is for." Family. The word tastes like ashes in my mouth. Lydia is no family of mine. Not anymore. She's a parasite, feeding on my misery, my helplessness. I retreat to my room, Max at my heels. He's my only solace in this hellish existence, the one being who loves me unconditionally. I bury my face in his fur, letting his warmth and steadiness anchor me. "We'll get through this, buddy," I whisper, my voice muffled by his coat. "We'll find a way out." But the days drag on and Lydia's grip tightens. She sabotages my attempts to learn Braille, hiding my books and making snide comments about my progress. She insists on doing everything for me, from dressing me to feeding me, as if I'm a helpless child. I start to feel like I'm drowning, suffocating under the weight of her control. But I refuse to give up. I refuse to let her win. In stolen moments, I practice my Braille in secret, my fingers tracing the raised dots like a lifeline. I work with Max, teaching him to guide me through the house, to alert me to obstacles and dangers. Together, we build a fragile web of independence, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. One afternoon, as I sit in the garden with Max, I hear Lydia's voice drifting through an open window. She's on the phone, her tone hushed and conspiratorial. "Don't worry, I have it all under control," she says. "Jade is completely dependent on me. She'll never be able to live on her own. And once I have power of attorney over Evelyn, we'll have access to all their assets." My blood runs cold. Lydia's plan is even more insidious than I imagined. She's not just trying to control me. She's trying to steal everything we have. Rage boils up inside me, hot and fierce. I clench my fists, my nails digging into my palms. I won't let her get away with this. I won't let her destroy my family. I reach for my phone, my fingers shaking as I dial the number for the disability rights group I've been secretly working with. "It's Jade," I say, my voice low and urgent. "I need your help. My aunt is trying to have me declared unfit. She's planning to exploit my mother." The advocate on the other end of the line is calm, reassuring. "We'll do everything we can to help you, Jade. You're not alone in this." Those words are like a balm to my battered soul. For the first time in months, I feel a flicker of hope. I have allies, people who believe in me, who will fight for me. I end the call and turn to Max, my hand resting on his head. "We're going to beat her, boy. We're going to make her pay for what she's done." Max leans into my touch, his tail thumping against the ground. In that moment, I know I'm not alone. I have Max, and I have the strength of my own determination. Lydia may have taken my sight, but she will never take my spirit. I will fight, and I will win. For myself, for my mother, for justice. The disability rights group becomes my lifeline, my secret weapon in the war against Lydia's tyranny. They connect me with resources, with people who understand the challenges I face and are willing to fight alongside me. "Jade, we've arranged for a Braille instructor to come to the house," the advocate tells me over the phone. "She'll work with you discreetly, helping you build your skills without alerting your aunt." I feel a surge of gratitude, of relief. "Thank you," I whisper, my voice choked with emotion. "You have no idea how much this means to me." The instructor, a woman named Sarah, becomes my ally, my confidant. She teaches me not just Braille, but how to navigate the world as a blind person, how to assert my independence in the face of Lydia's suffocating control. "You're stronger than you know, Jade," Sarah tells me, her hand resting gently on my shoulder. "Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." I cling to those words, to the belief that I am more than my disability, more than Lydia's pawn. As my skills grow, so too does my confidence. I start to push back against Lydia's manipulations, to assert my right to make my own choices. "I don't need you to do everything for me, Lydia," I say, my voice steady and firm. "I'm capable of taking care of myself." Lydia scoffs, her tone dripping with condescension. "Don't be ridiculous, Jade. You're blind. You'll always need me. But I know better. I have the support of the disability community, of people who believe in me. I have the love of Max, my loyal companion, and I have the truth on my side." With Sarah's help, I begin to uncover the depths of Lydia's deceit. We pore over financial records, piecing together the web of lies and manipulation that Lydia has spun around my mother and me. "She's been siphoning money from your mother's accounts for years," Sarah tells me, her voice tight with anger. "She's been using your mother's disability to line her own pockets." The revelation hits me like a punch to the gut. Lydia's cruelty knows no bounds, her greed no limits. I feel a white-hot rage building inside me, a determination to make her pay for what she's done. But I know I can't confront her alone. I need more evidence, more support. I need to be smart, to play the long game. So I bide my time, gathering information and allies. I work with the disability rights group to build a case against Lydia, to expose her crimes to the world, and all the while I keep up the facade of helplessness, of dependence. I let Lydia think she's won, that she has me under her thumb. But in the quiet moments, when it's just Max and me, I let my true self shine through. I practice my Braille, my mobility skills. I plan and plot and dream of the day when I will finally be free of Lydia's grip. "Soon, Max," I whisper, my fingers buried in his fur. "Soon we'll make her pay for what she's done. We'll show her that she can't break us, that we're stronger than she ever imagined." Max leans into my touch, his tail thumping against the floor. He believes in me, just as Sarah and the disability community do. And with their support, with the strength of my own determination, I know I can do anything. Lydia may have taken my sight, but she will never take my spirit, my will to fight. And fight I will, until justice is served and my family is safe from her clutches once and for all. The confrontation with Lydia is inevitable, a storm brewing on the horizon of my life. I've spent weeks gathering evidence, building my case against her, and now I'm ready to unleash the tempest. I find her in the living room, sipping her usual afternoon martini. "Lydia, we need to talk," I say, my voice steady and cold. She looks up, her eyes narrowing. "What is it, Jade?" "I'm busy." I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the battle to come. "I know what you've been doing, Lydia. I know about the money you've been stealing from Mom, about your plans to have me declared unfit." Lydia's laugh is sharp and brittle, like shards of glass. "Oh, Jade, you always were a little too clever for your own good. But who's going to believe you? You're blind, remember? Helpless." I feel a surge of rage, hot and fierce. "I'm not helpless, Lydia. And I have proof, financial records, witness statements, enough to send you to prison for a long time." For a moment, Lydia is silent. Then she speaks, her voice low and dangerous. "You ungrateful little bitch. After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me? Everything you've done for me?" I spit, my hands clenching into fists. "You've done nothing but try to control me, to break me. You caused the accident that blinded me, and you've been using my disability to manipulate and exploit me ever since." Lydia's laugh is cruel, mocking. "And what are you going to do about it, Jade? You're nothing without me. Nothing." I feel a smile tugging at the corners of my mouth, cold and triumphant. "That's where you're wrong, Lydia. I'm everything without you, and I'm going to make sure the world knows exactly what kind of monster you are." I turn to leave, but Lydia's voice stops me. "If you do this, Jade, you'll regret it. I'll make sure of that." I pause, my hand on the doorknob. "Do your worst, Lydia. I'm not afraid of you anymore." But Lydia's worst is more terrible than I could have imagined. 2 days later, I come home to find Max gone, his leash and toys vanished as if he never existed. "Where's Max?" I demand, my voice shaking with fear and fury. Lydia's smile is sickly sweet, poisonous. "Oh, didn't I tell you? Max had to be put down. He attacked me, you see, completely unprovoked. I had no choice." The world tilts beneath my feet, my heart shattering into a million pieces. Max, my loyal companion, my anchor in the storm of Lydia's cruelty, gone forever. "You're lying," I whisper, my voice raw with grief. "Max would never hurt anyone." Lydia's laugh is a knife in my gut. "Believe what you want, Jade, but the truth is you're alone now. Completely, utterly alone." I feel something snap inside me, a final thread of restraint. I lunge at Lydia, my hands reaching for her throat, blind with rage and despair. But Lydia is stronger than me, faster. She catches my wrists, twisting them until I cry out in pain. "Careful, Jade," she hisses, her breath hot against my ear. "You don't want to do something you'll regret." She shoves me away, and I stumble, falling to my knees. I'm shaking, my breath coming in ragged gasps, tears streaming down my face. "This isn't over, Lydia," I choke out, my voice thick with hatred. "I will make you pay for what you've done. I swear it." Lydia's laughter follows me as I flee the room. Max's absence a gaping wound in my heart. She may have taken him from me, but she will not break me. I will have my revenge, no matter the cost. For Max, for my mother, for myself. Lydia will learn the true meaning of justice, even if it's the last thing I ever do. The day of reckoning arrives, a gathering of the family that will become Lydia's undoing. I've spent weeks planning this moment, orchestrating every detail, and now, as I stand before my assembled relatives, I feel a sense of calm, of inevitability. "Thank you all for coming," I begin, my voice steady and clear. "I know you're wondering why I've asked you here today." I feel Lydia's gaze boring into me, her anger palpable, but I don't flinch, don't waver. The truth is, there's something you all need to know about Lydia. Something she's been hiding from you for years. I hear murmurs of confusion, of curiosity. I take a deep breath, steeling myself for the revelation to come. Lydia has been stealing from my mother, embezzling money from her accounts. She's been using my mother's disability and mine to line her own pockets. The room erupts in gasps, in shouts of disbelief. I feel a surge of satisfaction, of vindication. "That's ridiculous," Lydia sputters, her voice high and thin. "Jade is lying, trying to turn you all against me." But I'm prepared for her denials, her manipulations. "I have proof," I say, holding up a stack of documents, financial records, witness statements, everything you need to see the truth. I pass the documents to my uncle, watching as he flips through them, his face growing pale. "My God," he whispers, "it's all here, everything Jade said." Lydia's laugh is shrill, desperate. "This is absurd. Jade is blind. She couldn't possibly have gathered all of this on her own." I smile, cold and triumphant. "You're right, Lydia. I didn't do it on my own. I had help from the disability community, from people who believe in justice and equality." I turn to face my family, my voice ringing with conviction. "Lydia has been abusing her power, taking advantage of the most vulnerable among us. She caused the accident that blinded me, and she's been using my disability to control and manipulate me ever since." The room is silent, stunned. I see shock on their faces, horror, disgust. She even had my dog, Max, put down. An innocent animal, killed out of spite and cruelty. At the mention of Max, Lydia's composure cracks. "That dog was a menace," she shrieks, her face contorted with rage. "He deserved to die. Just like you. You ungrateful bitch." The room explodes with shouts, with cries of outrage. I hear my mother's voice, trembling with grief and fury. "How could you, Lydia? How could you do this to your own family?" Lydia's eyes dart wildly, searching for an escape. But there is none. The truth is out, and she is trapped, cornered by her own lies and deceit. "It's over, Lydia," I say, my voice cold and final. "You've lost." As if on cue, the police arrive, summoned by my uncle. They surround Lydia, their faces grim and determined. "Lydia Davenport, you're under arrest for embezzlement, fraud, and abuse of a vulnerable adult," Lydia screams, thrashing against the officer's grip. But it's no use. She is dragged away, her cries fading into the distance. I feel a hand on my shoulder, warm and comforting. I turn, and to my shock, I find myself face to face with my father, Ethan. "Dad," I whisper, my voice choked with emotion. "What are you doing here?" He smiles, his eyes shining with tears. "I heard what happened, Jade. I'm so sorry I wasn't there for you, for your mother. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. I fall into his arms, sobbing with relief and exhaustion. For the first time in years, I feel safe, loved, protected. It's over, I whisper, my face buried in his chest. We're free. And as I stand there, surrounded by my family, I know that Lydia's reign of terror is finally at an end. Justice has been served, and a new chapter of my life is about to begin. In the aftermath of Lydia's arrest, the world feels different, lighter. It's as if a weight has been lifted from my shoulders, a darkness banished from my life. I sit with my father in the quiet of my mother's living room, Max's absence a dull ache in my heart. But even that pain is tempered by the knowledge that justice has been served, that Lydia will never hurt anyone again. I'm so proud of you, Jade, my father says, his voice thick with emotion. You've been through so much, and yet you never gave up, never stopped fighting. I feel tears prickling at the corners of my eyes, a lump rising in my throat. I couldn't have done it without you, Dad, without all of you. He takes my hand, squeezing it gently. We're family, Jade. That's what we do. We support each other no matter what. I nod, swallowing hard. I know, and I'm sorry for pushing you away, for not letting you in. My father's laugh is soft, understanding. You have nothing to apologize for, Jade. I'm the one who should be sorry for not being there when you needed me most. We sit in silence for a moment, the weight of the past hanging between us, but it's a comfortable silence, a healing one. What happens now? I ask, my voice small and uncertain. My father sighs, his hand tightening around mine. Now, we rebuild. We take care of your mother, we make sure she has the support she needs, and we help you, Jade. We help you find your way in this new world. I feel a flicker of hope, of possibility. I want to go back to my art, I say, my voice growing stronger. I want to show the world that blindness doesn't define me, that I'm more than my disability. My father's smile is warm, proud. I have no doubt that you will, Jade. You have a gift, a talent that nothing can take away. We lapse into silence again, but it's a different kind of silence now, a hopeful one, full of promise and potential. I miss Max, I whisper, my voice cracking with grief. He was my anchor, my best friend. My father's arm wraps around my shoulders, pulling me close. I know, Jade, and I'm so sorry for what Lydia did to him. But Max will always be with you in your heart. He loved you, and that love will never die. I lean into my father's embrace, feeling the warmth of his love, the strength of his support. And in that moment, I know that I am not alone, that I will never be alone again. The sound of the front door opening breaks the spell, and I hear my mother's voice, bright and happy. Jade, Ethan, where are you? We rise to meet her, my father's arms still around my shoulders. We're here, Mom, I call out, my voice ringing with joy. We're home. As we walk into the hallway, I hear the soft patter of paws on the hardwood floor, the jingle of a collar, and then a warm, furry body is pressing against my legs, a wet nose nuzzling my hand. Max? I whisper, my voice trembling with disbelief. Is it really you? My mother's laugh is bright, joyful. It's him? Jade. The police found him, locked up in Lydia's basement. He's been waiting for you all this time. I drop to my knees, burying my face in Max's fur, sobbing with relief and happiness. He licks my tears away, his tail wagging furiously, and I know that I am truly home, truly whole. Welcome back, Max, I whisper, my voice muffled by his fur. Welcome back, my friend. And as I kneel there, surrounded by my family, my loyal companion by my side, I know that the darkness is finally over, that a new dawn is breaking, a dawn of hope, of healing, of love, and I am ready to face it with the strength of my family, the courage of my convictions, and the unbreakable bond of a love that will never die. The months following Lydia's arrest are a whirlwind of activity, of healing and growth. With my mother's finances secure and my father's support, I throw myself into my art, into my advocacy work for the disabled. I spend long hours in my studio, my fingers flying over the canvas, bringing my visions to life. I paint the world as I see it now, in all its beauty and complexity, its light and its darkness. And when I'm not painting, I'm speaking out, sharing my story with the world. I give interviews, attend rallies, testify before lawmakers. I become a voice for the voiceless, a champion for the marginalized. It's at one of these events that I meet her, the gallery owner who will change my life. Her name is Elena, and she approaches me after my speech, her eyes shining with admiration. Your work is incredible, Jade, she says. her voice warm and sincere. "I'd love to feature it in my gallery, to give you a platform to share your vision with the world." I feel a thrill of excitement, of possibility. "I'd be honored," I say, my voice trembling with emotion. "Thank you, Elena." The exhibition is a resounding success, my paintings selling out within hours. I stand in the center of the gallery, surrounded by my family and friends, my heart swelling with pride and gratitude. "I'm so proud of you, Jade," my father says, his arm around my shoulders. "You've come so far, overcome so much." I lean into his embrace, feeling the warmth of his love, the strength of his support. "I couldn't have done it without you, Dad. Without all of you." I turn to face the crowd, my voice ringing out clear and strong. "I want to thank you all for being here tonight, for supporting me on this journey, but I also want to take a moment to remember someone who can't be here with us, someone who was taken from us too soon." I feel tears prickling at the corners of my eyes, a lump rising in my throat. Max was more than just a dog. He was my friend, my companion, my anchor in the darkest of times. He loved me unconditionally, and he taught me the true meaning of loyalty and courage. I pause, taking a deep breath. Max may be gone, but his spirit lives on, in the work that I do, in the love that I share. And I know that he would be proud of me, of all of us, for standing up for what's right and for fighting for justice and equality. The crowd erupts in applause, in cheers and whistles. I feel a surge of emotion, of gratitude and love. And then I feel a warm, furry body pressing against my legs, a wet nose nuzzling my hand. I look down, and there he is, Max, his tail wagging furiously, his eyes shining with love. "Max," I whisper, my voice trembling with disbelief. "Is it really you?" My mother's laugh is bright, joyful. "It's him, Jade. We wanted to surprise you, to give you a special gift on this special night." I drop to my knees, burying my face in Max's fur, sobbing with relief and happiness. He licks my tears away, his tail thumping against the floor, and I know that I am truly blessed, truly loved. "Welcome back, Max," I whisper, my voice muffled by his fur. "Welcome home, my friend." And as I kneel there, surrounded by my family, my loyal companion by my side, I know that the journey is not over, that there will be more challenges, more obstacles to overcome. But I also know that I am not alone, that I have the strength and the courage to face whatever lies ahead. Because I am Jade Carlson, artist, advocate, survivor. And I will never stop fighting, never stop believing, never stop loving. For myself, for my family, for the memory of Max, and for all those who need a voice, a champion, a friend. The future is bright, and I am ready to meet it, head on, with an open heart and an unbreakable spirit. Because in the end, that is what true justice, true love is all about.